covers everything that he's going to need in any given moment right now. Poach from Liquid, smacked the bottom of your screen. A lot of players that have been in the top 10 multiple times popping up right now. Air Cool, Spades all the way at the ultimate high ground. 38 players remaining. Going to climb our way all the way back to the top. The launch pad out. Good rotation right now. The later you get into a game, the less value a launch pad has, because unless you're going to ramp up above and use it with the horizontal trajectory, which, don't get me wrong, is very, very good. But if you're trying to go for verticality, by the way, a player lands in the same box for quick trap, it's not going to go down, but Zlem still pays the price for trying to challenge Spades for ultimate high ground. Might not be the last one either. Oh my gosh, the number of players flying around above is insane. Spades, can he follow through? Can indeed. K-Dude goes down on his own launch pad again. Sorry, that got ridiculous. But the late game launch pads, they lose value because the more time you spend in the air, the more opportunities other players have to take shots at you as the storm starts to close. Spades sharing the wall with another player, gotta be careful. A box up and keep on rolling.
You could be cheeky with the launch pads too. Use dead.
All right, I propose a challenge to anybody out there.
Ooh.
You set up a launch pad with the angle that shoots an opponent player into a box filled with your own traps. I will PayPal you $50 because that would be ridiculous.
There you
Imagine just whoosh, right in.
Like they go flying, they hold forward, and they're like, wait, that's a box.
Oh, last second.
That was
Barely made it in. 3 HP. He's got to stay just ahead of the storm.
Anyone could just breathe in his direction.
This is one of those moments where you're thinking,
okay.
I need to find a spot that I can sit and watch for an elim. This might be the one. The campfire is what gives it away right now. Spades deciding to push forward, rotate around to the bottom. A shot behind the corner at it. Not enough, and he finds them down underneath. Big attempt from Spades. 3 seconds to squeak it in. 50 points right now for Spades. We're the top 25 now. Hornet all the way in the ultimate high ground, it looks like. Took it with a baller, which you don't see too often. Kind of a risky play unless you have something like a Shadow Bomb, which Hornet does have. Drop it down, stand inside the safe zone. Takes a lot of ticks to the storm, and that's the time for a slurp.
Yeah,
big value.
It does take quite a while. It's 1 HP a second. He's got a long time before he's back in fighting condition. Someone does go for the high ground challenge.
You have a player up above, and you still have one falling in, which you can hear that.
Yeah. I think that's what the player, so this player above Hornet knows that Hornet's down below, but like you said, he heard the glider redeploy. It's a very distinct sound, so he's probably just trying to keep himself safe. Hornet's trying to get aggressive here. He wants his elimination. Okay.
Big play.
All right.
Smart play there.
Good.
At that point, he was getting shot at from above. He was potentially challenging a player that he was not going to be able to beat. Player behind gets caught in their own edit, goes for the pyramid play and can't get Hornet. Instead, Gal pays the price themselves. Get up that first elimination. 14 players left from the top 15 now for that second set of placements.
Oh, God.
Inside a box. Finds a player inside. CWV goes down. One more push. Rotation on the outside. Poach in your feed. Eliminated as well.
Oh, there's players all around Lupo.
Right underneath another player. They're holding it down. Trying to reset the ramp underneath. Can't get it 3 times. Going to have to melee their way through.
Oh.
Very tense situation here. Smacked in your feed, picking up an elim. We're down to the top 9. Hornet on 36.
Oh my
86
God!
HP. 3 elims now for Hornet. A big reactive shot there to stay in this game. A chance for minis. Has 2 ARs. Not a big deal there, but the combat shotgun going to come in big late game. Looking for headshots. Looking for angles from underneath. Hornet pushing forward, 66 builds left. Severe, the ultimate high ground. Players sandwiched in the middle. You hate to see somebody go down and not make it to the top 5, but here it is as the last set of placement points go out for everybody left alive. Severe, Shadow, Nick Cool, Midas, and Hornet, the ultimate low ground. Trying to pop a med kit there. Going to be able to get it off. Going to have to push through this wall. But stay inside. Last second. That might be enough. Coming in from underneath, you see Shadow in the ultimate high ground, popping those minis. There's a natural campfire. He could hit it real quick. He doesn't.
Okay.
No chance for a take, but he finds Shadow and gets the elimination, the victory royale, and a cool little dance move to top it off. Well played, Hornet.
That's the dance I know how to do, sort of. Bro, that was great. So much happened. Like
a lot happened in the last second.
Like technical skill-wise, game sense-wise, knowing how to like get players to do what you want them to do.
Hornet's heads up flick while rotating in the last second to stay alive.
Yes.
Was huge.
Against Smacked, that was insane. Literally jumped over his head, boom. 180 flicked him.
Made his way the rest of the way in. Well played there.
And you got to think too, that's going to affect Smack's potential leaderboard setup, right? Maybe that shuts him down, and maybe that could have been his last game. We don't know how that's going to affect the standings until we take a look later on. Don't forget, there's only the 6 spots here.
Listen, at least Golden
That
Boy
was insane.
At least Golden Boy is not here to call him smoke, is all I'm saying. JDW in your feed, picking off Complexity's Macwood. 46 players now. That's a very early elimination for the player from Complexity. Sentinel's Animals, 0 eliminations, 63 builds. Some minis, some shadow. We're starting to see a trend. Let me just put this out there, and you let me know if you agree or not.
All right.
Consistency across the board for loadouts is typically combat shotgun, an AR of some sort,
right?
1 or 2 mobility items and a heal. And
yes.
if it's not 2 mobility items, it's only 1. I would say potentially 2 heals, and then the last utility slot, if it's not 2 heals, you could say is a heavy sniper or flintlock.
Yes. So typically
like
we're
every
seeing
single loadout.
Pretty much exactly that. So it's either going to be 2, like let's say it's like a rift, some kind of mobility, 2 heals. Sometimes we see people, even if they're lucky to find them along the game, we've seen people with like 6 half shields, right?
Oh, yeah.
2 whole slots dedicated to 3 half shields apiece. And then you're like, oh, this guy just wants to fight the whole time.
I want to make a point, too, so that it's not misconstrued what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that everyone runs the exact same thing all the time because it's the only thing to run. I'm saying people are running the same consistent builds because consistency is huge in a BR game. And if you have a loadout that is consistently showing top performance, players are going to favor it. That's something to take note of if you're trying to step your own game up. Maybe you're not going to make it to this World Cup, but I guarantee you there's going to be events from Epic for Fortnite in the future. This ain't the end, believe me. And so game evolves. I mean, we're getting updates that change things weekly. So you have players every single time that they're, and this has been at this point, y'all, if you have not accepted that is Fortnite, you need to just accept that that's Fortnite. Now, let's all finally settle and say, yes, it is a game that includes an evolution of meta constantly, which means the players are constantly being pushed to try and figure out how to play the next setup the best. And that's good. You want that because I'm gonna be very honest with you. From a spectator side, I feel like potentially a level of staleness would happen if you're like, all right, we're back to a pump shotgun and an SMG to swap to. Pump shotgun, SMG to swap to. I feel like the combat shotgun has created more opportunities for back-to-back-to-back eliminations. You see Fiber going down there to Animal. It's just a situation where the game is trying to evolve in a way that makes it more representative of higher skill players and less representative of this guy is really good at the one thing all the time. You want to see people that can do it all.
Right.
You want the jack of all trades players to shine because they're the ones that have really put in a crazy amount of effort. They have skill, the knowledge to pick up everything about the game that they can as it changes. Sorry, I'm so long-winded about this. I'm very passionate about competitive Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's become such a big piece of what I do and what you do, especially you. I mean, you've been around for a long time.
Just about the beginning. Just about.
Exactly. And so it's like, it's just one of those things I want to see the game evolve and grow in a healthy way. And I know there's some people that are not happy with how the game is now, but you have to at least admit, those people have to at least admit that they're happy with the way that, an esport has continued to evolve. It has. It's undeniable.
Yeah, sure. And maybe just to expand upon that just a little bit more. Fortnite is an ever-evolving game. And it is a battle royale, and there is some kind of randomness involved in that, right? Like you land in a POI, and there's some form of random loot.
Well, you can harness that.
Correct, and it's why these players excel is because they can minimize that randomness factor, right? Like you said, their consistency. What can they do to minimize that randomness and give them an edge, which then propels them forward and continues moving forward? Unknown, great example. He knows what he does best. His rifling skills, his combat skills, his long-range shots. He's in a great position to do this, right? He didn't just land on this loadout. He worked for this loadout. He said, where do I need to go? When do I need to fight? Do I need to fight now?
To get it?
Exactly. There's so much. On the surface, Fortnite may seem like, I guess, borderline one-dimensional, kind of, but there's actually so much depth to the game.
I wouldn't even say on the surface it seems that way. You've got building and shooting and strategic positioning.
Yeah,
there's a lot to it.
Elevation, game changes, what you land with, you know, how you're feeling on the day, what your skills are like, where you've spent your time. Have you done your shooting practice? Have you gone into playgrounds before then to practice up your building skills? There's so much. This is why I love Fortnite, dude. You're gonna make me nerd out, and we're gonna have long conversations about this.
This has been Deep Thoughts with Lupo and Zeke. Meanwhile, top 5 situation. My apologies for all that. Unknown from KNG with 6 eliminations. 19 builds. That Rift may or may not come into use here. It'll be tough to know just yet. TJ, the ultimate low ground. We're already in the top 3. The swap there, Baltic, Dylan, Glow Navy going down outside in the storm. Unknown dropping in and challenging Jfree, but he actually gets dropped all the way to the bottom. Stuck top to bottom of TJ.
Oh my!
Box, the traps.
Oh my gosh, he completely shuts down Jfree. But look at the health difference. If he's not careful, dude, and they spend time in the storm, Jfree has health advantage. He's got to be really careful how he approaches this.
The slurp, though, Unknown could potentially pop it. Should here momentarily, I almost anticipate. Here we go.
Do you think he just waits for him to drop down and try and riffs him and hopes that the slurp is enough to tick him over?
We'll see. Moving with the storm, Jfree in the ultimate high.
He's still
shots. Combat shotgun from underneath, can't quite connect.
20.
Does not tick out to the storm. Instead, finds a shot on Jfree, the celebratory rift to go into the sky. Unknown, well played. No builds left, no problem.
Bro, that was absolutely insane. Sundown, Monster D-Face. Was that not just the craziest end to that game?
That ending was absolutely absurd. Nice celebratory rift there from the controller lord KNG. Unknown. Well done to get the victory royale there. But not only was it a fantastic finish to that match, that is it from NA East. It's done. All the matches are played. The standings are final, and Monster and I are going to break them down.
Dude, are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for this? OMG, boys. So first off, Clicks qualified, right?
Top 3 spots again. We've talked about the sharing before. Clicks, Clarity, and then KNG's Unknown in the last one will take those top 3 spots. But 6 spots are still up for grabs, and you'll see Tuesday, Legendian, Aspect, Hornet, and Creo. I'm telling you, that had to be the most nerve-wracking final hour for Aspect. We saw him finish on 60 points. He was in 2nd place. These last 4 right here, from Aspect to Fernando, were all at 60 points. Aspect had the 2 victory royales that pushed him up into 7th. Hornet had 1 that pushed him up into 8th. Creo had 0. Fernando had 0. The difference, average eliminations, average points, all of them average placement. Creo owned all the tiebreakers. He had all of them afterward, was slightly ahead, 3.8 to 2.8, 18 to 3.6, and the average point 7.5 to 6.0. Talk about every interaction mattering. Well, all the tiny little ones and the differences add up. Congratulations to all 6 of you, the final ones, joining us at the Fortnite World Cup final from NA East. But now I think it's time to punch tickets.
Absolutely is, and there it is. That's 1.
Cosmic up there on the board in
That's
first.
2.
Tuesday in second. Go ahead, Monster. You can grab that one.
I'll get this guy too right here, man. Legendian. You made it.
Aspect as well. That must have been. Oh wait, it's Lupo. We've been over this before.
You sure you want to? Are you feel? Okay. This guy, man.
He tried his best. It's all right. They talk about his snipes, but not about his ability to punch tickets. Creo in the last spot. Lazarus will have a member at the Fortnite World Cup final. Again, congratulations. But you can see out of the 19 spots up here, only 17 have been filled. We have 2 more for you coming out of NA West. But for now, we're going to go on a quick, well, not so quick. We're going to go on a 30-minute break in between the regions. Go walk your dog, get some water, get a nice little meal in you, because when we come back, the rest of the NA West matches in the final 2 spots will be punched for the solos competition to the Fortnite World Cup final. We'll be right back.
velho. Não tem. Aí deve estar em paro, velho. Que bosta, velho.
building with Willet is terrible. Way above the threshold here. He's closing in on his top 25. Can he hold out? It's really what he's looking for. 38 points. He's in contention. There's still time to queue up here. He is totally in the running right now. And that's a big three-piece right there. 2 huge legendary AR shots connect. One being a headshot, rips apart the shield. Combat follow-up, so clean. Spook goes back into recycle the geyser and just gonna keep him in the air, just trying to get this placement right now.
2 quick ticks out in the storm, but does have the highest drop right now, slowly floating in. Bucky starting to take shots. Wouldn't surprise me if descent happens very quickly from those that are still floating because of that. Power on the bottom, picking Vita off the feet. Alex Toast getting an elimination. Power going down to himself and the storm. Hate to see that player on the outside. Alex Toast does get eliminated. Makin, 26 left. One more goes down. Whoever this 26th position is going to feel bad about missing placement points, but it is the way of the road, as they say. Ultra Laser Hawk is the player, and we are now in the top 25 for placement. Everybody picking up 3 points. The community launch pad makes catching a competing player going for the same launch pad, and everybody's flying in here at Lazy Lagoon. We're basically headed straight. In fact, it's an entirely in the water 8th circle that we're moving towards right now.
And like placement is only just barely given out. As we're in 20 players on a riverbed, you can't walk down there. You have to build. This is such a weird end game.
I mean, you could try, but it's going to be real sad when you have to jump along the bottom. Look at this, Foxy Boxy taking shots and then immediately getting shot at from Ty Tanks above. Goes down and Ty pushes in to try and get the loot. Player competing for that. Barband going down outside. Spook rotating forward, maintaining basically the 3rd floor up. A rip, gonna use it, maybe not. Decides not to, gonna move forward. A player dropping in the same box. Surprise, I'm in the box too, and Dotback goes down. Spook maintaining all the way on the outside of the zone. A couple storm ticks. That Siphon actually did end up saving him down to 49 HP now. 12 players left. Ty, Spook. A number of other players rotating in, stuck on the bottom underneath the waterfall.
He got up and over though. He did get up and over. That's going to be a weird place to rotate up. He knows that's why he's looking right now, trying to see if he can find someone. Players are going to go down to the storm right now. That's one. IOTA goes down already. It's such a weird spot. Their struggle must be happening here. Synergy and Diggles fighting in the zone as well.
Quick edit and a shot. Combat shotgun rotating around the outside, trying to chase that player down. Decides not to continue pushing just in case somebody else might be there. Like Ty Tanks, a quick elim there, picking up another Siphon. The 50 HP shield total there, very important.
Just a bit ago, he had 49 health, guys. Now he's at 150. He is in the game right here.
Swing.
Will he get to 200 in time? Nope, someone snatches it up, but it's okay. He catches errands.
The rift.
Right there, and there is a free rift. Definitely want to use that. Everyone already to the sky at this point. Top 5, all placement points have been given out, besides the victory royale at this point.
Knocking on the ultimate low ground, taking shots. Traps to defend from anybody dropping in, like Just Chillin', who does go down very quickly. Another elimination, 7 now in 5 builds. Maybe looking for another shot on the players underneath. There are a handful down there. A quick grenade. I don't know if he caught that. Just tosses one down to see if he can get a hit on somebody. Maybe the 60 seconds before the storm.
Can he get it?
Picks him out. Spook caught on the outside. He's got one build. Floor, he's going to push up, find it. Gets it.
Did he get it?
Bertsack.
Can he get the mats?
Dropping in.
He got a few.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. He's
just
good
a few.
still. 3 players now mocking on the ultimate low. And watch this. Everybody's about to get pushed in the air because of the path of the storm. And that might...
He needs to hit the shot.
Oh my gosh. Staying just barely away from the vent. Almaken gets 4 eliminations. The victory royale and everybody else. At that point, because it was so close to the end of the game, nobody wanted to go for the vent because you're pushed up in the air, and with the circle that small, you are asking to tick out storm damage. You want to stay engaged, so a forced rotation out into the storm is the only option at that point.
Yeah, and that's why Spook was trying so desperately hard to push through that building and catch the Elam before he took off in the geyser, but he did manage to throw him up and couldn't get the Siphon to keep him in the game. But here with Cryptic, charges back that bow, and he West, 30 minutes left to queue up and get the last bit of your games. 30 minutes, you can effectively queue maybe 2 full games, one from here to then, and then your last, but it's only if you have more than 2 games left, then you got to start pushing through. We call those W key games. So as you see, the lobby right now is a normal lobby in a sense. As we approach towards the end tail, these lobbies are going to get probably like slimmed down.
And more, it's scarier and scarier every single time you go in there. Right now, you have to realize that these games are queued against players of relatively similar scoring. As we get closer to the end of the block, you're going to be looking at lobbies with players with very high point counts. Very, very competitive lobbies, very difficult lobbies. You're on West, 2 spots, by the way. The top two of 3,000 people. Top 2 of 3,000 people is... It's terrifying to think that that's how narrow it is. That's how few people make it through. We've gone through multiple weeks of this, of players trying to play out of their minds. Cryptic slays, picks up the first elim. A couple easy shots, the AR from above.
That's that boombo though, man. Ripped apart all the shield on that player.
Just recently nerfed too. A little bit of a
drawback decrease.
A quarter of a second longer now, but the player's still very efficient with it. You just have to time it a little bit better.
Any kind of change to that weapon is welcome, I'm sure.
You trying to tell me that people have a problem with the relative utilization of a weapon? Fortnite Battle Royale, the ultimate Battle Royale experience? No way.
Of course not, dude.
Never. Smile.
Insane.
You're insane.
Here we have
You're insane.
Blixifer. 2 stinkers. We saw stinkers kind of clean up some players earlier today. Just an end game. No way to defend against it. Persian goes down. Now Blix, he can take this ball. He can just go through the loot if he really wants to. He's not going to do so. So he's going to be content with what he has and gets the next zone here.
Too risky at this point. He's got to rotate so far still, and you've got so many players that are still out here ahead of the zone. JP2 right there, King Flash at the top, challenging Cryptic Slays. Hunt as well, landing the same spot, and Spicy right underneath. Meanwhile, Saf from Ghost, looking to make a play down here in the bottom, decides to not get too aggressive and uses that rift, seeing most likely that right now, at the time of the rift, 27 players left. I think the option there was, I don't even want to risk it. I want my placement points, which he gets now.
Yeah, not only that, someone he had 2 players somehow end up in his box. One might have been a shadow, and the other might have been a baller, so.
Exactly.
He is not trying to stick around there.
The best course of action, honestly. Down to 22 now, and he's got to make it to 15. You see the top right there, the placement required to get the next set of points.
He's doing pretty good for himself this game right here. He's got double heals going on, playing for the high ground, manages to take it up, and it's his.
Do it.
He's just got to run it up. He's connecting with all the combat. Someone is trying to break him down. Doesn't even matter. He does manage to connect here, and there's 2 or 3 players now above him. He's going to use that moment of distraction to lower his elevation and probably just go back on the hunt in just a bit here, but
still
stinkers
getting pressure
are
above.
chasing.
One more needs to go down.
Look at that dodge right there. Sidestep fake out. Now taking down the high ground player again, but lets his guard down, and someone's already on it.
Actually did pick up an elimination fake. He jumped off the top. Ended up going down to that. In the feed right there. 11 players left. Saf, 2 eliminations, 56 builds, and it's pretty much all metal, which is perfect for late game. If you had to have a situation where you get 1 material at the end, it's got to be metal every single time. You use that to zone people out as the storm's pushing in behind. Slows them down because they have to try and knock out those walls, and it's going to take multiple hits. And at the same time, maybe a chance for you to edit back, go for elimination. Hector here, the ultimate low ground. Moving forward, 35 points so far. Still in contention. Cryptic Slays in your feed, putting it down to the top 10 remaining. As Fett goes down.
Yes, indeed. There's a player right here. He does have the edit, makes the double shot, connects with a 136 combat. Just 1 hit was the one that took him down, but didn't break the wall in time. Is he going to be?
Oh,
no
what
way.
a bait.
King Flash was waiting for that. But hey, he brought in a slurp juice for King Flash. That's going to be a big come up for him. And
special delivery.
let's look at how much health these players in the low ground have. No Flash, just gets 1 limb right there. It's going to put him back in. He did get hit.
Saf in the ultimate high ground, just big chilling with already built structures. In fact, he owns a number of them. You see from this corner right, he's going to watch for the shots. Finds 2. That player's down to less than 50. He's going to push forward, and it's Cryptic Slays goes down. We are now in a top 4 situation. Cryptic at least getting the top 5 points there. 7 from that. 49, though, total for Saf. Looking to put himself in the top 10. Hopefully the top 2 if he can make his way all the way to the top. And speaking of the top, climbing out of basically all the pre-built structures. Spicy, Sage peek right on top of each other. Spicy picks up that elimination. 3 players left. Schlump, the ultimate low ground. My friend out there in the corn. I feel that for sure. Saf and the ultimate high dropping down, starting to descent. A little bit of fall damage. Both players at the bottom are literally dancing inside and outside of each other's builds right now. Corner edits happening. A ramp to push Spicy all the way in the bottom, and Saf and Spicy to 1v1.
It's the cornfield. It's the hayfield. Like,
he's got layers above him already for just a second.
Like,
Spicy's got 7 builds.
Like, no way, dude. I ain't going down there.
I want to see a Spicy push out just 2 or 3 floors out, launch pad to try and take high ground and push the shotgun. Do it.
Saf's not having it. One campfire's down. There's the second, sits in the middle. Out comes the bandages, and that's his game.
Spicy was sitting on the launch pad. I would have loved to see him push out, put down a quick floor launch, fly up, and try and take high ground, shoot down from above, especially with a tactical shotgun. You don't have the range of the combat, so if you're going to try and compete with that, you're going to fail. AR shots from underneath, potentially, but with the amount of materials that you could already see the player above him layering up, double layering pyramids and floors. So at that point, pressuring with a high ground takeover, in my opinion, granted, I'm only me.
You're you.
But you never know. Like, I feel like that was the play. Thoughts?
I mean, think about it. There's only a couple of spots for qualification. If I'm being honest, to make it all the way through, you got to take risk. We've seen it happen all day today. 1-point differences, tiebreaker differences.
Yep.
You got to make risk right there. Like, that was an elimination he could have took, but he just said, you know what? He weighed his card and said, I have the bandage, I have the campfire. I'm going to go for the hail off. You lose a point. You leave a point on the field.
Was it NA East had, what, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 9th, and 10th were all 60 points?
Yes, 4 players in a 60-point tiebreaker bracket, and Creo just barely eked out.
So you're looking at that and you're thinking, I should probably push this, maybe.
Don't leave anything up for grabs. Can't in those final moments, but
39 players left.
How it all kind of crumbles in that one, but here it is, symmetrical. We saw having quite the day today if he can continue to just hold out.
We had a chance to look at his first 5 games of the day, the breakdown, and he was so heavily weighted on placement. He's playing so strategically that 4 eliminations right now, multiple wins. I believe he had 3 games that were wins, and this might actually be one of them. We'll see before too long. One that he went out at 100th. I know that feeling. Don't worry.
If you're gonna go down, might as well be 100. Get all your time back.
Like, you know what? On to the next one. Keep on rolling.
You know, most players don't get 10 in anyway, so it is all good. As poor Fishman right here. Wheels catches a ton of damage. It was white, so you know he's gonna keep the pressure up here.
100%.
And yep, he's gonna keep it nice and safe. He hears the minis. This is checkmate, buddies. Hello. Bye-bye. I mean, guess Ethan.
I'm assuming it's Ethan. Can't really tell. Question mark then. Put Wheels from WBG picking up a solid elimination. Good mechanical technique there. Getting the quick replaces, quick edits, the swipes. You can see him. I love that you can see him too. How fast they're activating the edit, swiping, confirming the edit, and then just quickly taking a shot. Sog is the ultimate high ground. Looks like an legendary AR in his hands.
I would not want to play on 60 hertz. I'm sorry.
Struggle.
That's rough.
It's the struggle.
Respect to Soggy's on 60 hertz, man.
Who knows if that's UV? It actually is. The name itself, though, very funny. I commend him. Moving forward. Little corner edit. More and more players, instead of capping off with a ramp and flipping it, have been doing a pyramid and just choosing which corners they want to raise up, because you can immediately just look down, reset it, and drop down. Change corners. See multiple 3 players in rotation. Finds the weakest one. Look at the damage above the threshold for, for Storm Surge. 1,338 damage above the threshold. Until it's down to 30 players in the top left corner of your screen, folks, Storm Surge will apply damage ticks to everybody that's still in until it's down to 30, or that is everybody that's below the threshold, the damage cutoff. So you have to make sure that you're dealing as much damage as you can. Like Alberto here, only 80
this guy's
above.
Barely above, but lucky for him, he's just outside of the threshold, so he should be okay here. Alberto, 2 Rift to goes. 3 Shadow Bombs. He's got everything he needs to kind of play for placement here. You might as well at this point, and that's why he's choosing to just rotate, not necessarily firing at anyone. Just notice the holds here. Now he's going on defense. Holding builds, keeping it nice and calm. If you don't fire back, people are going to start targeting you, and that's kind of what's happening here. So
2 rifts. So the one of 2 shadow bombs remaining. Gonna have to almost rotate through the sink, dodges those with ease. 149 total. He's dropping just above. Oh my gosh. The landing there lands right on a ramp inside a tower that is 2 floors up, drops in, build, quick double edit, falls into the player. Tactical shotgun, easy clap.
That's respect right there.
So fast.
No hesitation, saw the opportunity, took the wall. That was the perfect scenario for him to be in. It's also going to allow him to upgrade that loadout. We'll see how he fares off in a little bit here, but now hopping over to Wheels, who's repeating the same rinse and repeat here. You want to just get to the zones. You want to be careful too. Guys, when your shadow bomb is ending, if you're standing still, your silhouette is just there. Players can see you. I've seen players get punished in the past.
Oh, and he got it.
My God.
It was a teammate too. WBG on WBG violence.
Cannibalism.
You hate to see it. Wheels. Oh man, the reaction time there. If you get rifted up and you have an open slot for reload in your combat shotgun, there's a little the little gimmick you do right now where you quickly spam reload and shoot at the same time. And
I wonder, do you have to aim at that point?
Oh,
or
bro, yeah.
You just hit what's in front of you.
I've seen shots. Yeah,
Like,
very often you're going to see a big hit because they're right on top of each other.
Yeah, they hit all the time.
Very, very accurate there.
I haven't been in a situation to pull that one off, but man, I think one highlight happened last weekend, and ever since, it is just... They've taken the play and added it to the playbook.
Pretty much everybody had their eyes on that and said, oh, okay, I guess this is how we're going to do things. And it just literally, we had one, I think it was yesterday.
Said, oh, these casters love that. Let's do that, dude. That's the highlight.
And we had one yesterday where a player went for 2 back-to-back and couldn't quite get it to happen.
Crazy.
To try and, it was literally the last player who had 70 HP just picked him up twice with rifts. And
look.
He
tried to do it
again. He's trying to find somebody on the drop-in, man.
How crazy is that? But does a hard dive down. He's landing right on top of another fight here. What's going on up top? Oppa Whip. Wheels still in the game. C-Dub. Triggy.
Noberto,
so many combat shots just traded off, and Noberto won all of the
he dropped in, and then literally everyone down on the bottom with him is gone now.
Yep, that puts him right up to 3 elims. Here comes Wheels, just kind of making his way down. He's got to pop this slurp juice, though. Look at his health right now. Not sure why he's holding on to that, but it doesn't matter. It pays off because that fall damage is going to help him out tremendously. He takes some in return. Can he rid the train? He does. Didn't need the slurp juice after all.
Nah. He picked his teammate up, lifted him up in the air, took that elimination, multiple eliminations after that, Wheels, the Victory Royale. A crazy set of builds here. I love looking at these things afterwards, but what really matters is the play-by-play there, every single strategy, and if we could, Zeke, take us through what you know.
Well, Dr. Lupo, the only thing I know is you're incredible. Thank you guys so much for casting. As always, you guys are amazing. And, of course, I agree. The fossils are a great story that tells what all went down in that game, Sundown. Now, I know you've pulled some clips for us, so what you have to show?
So we're going to take a look, and the theme of this one is Galaxy Brain, putting that mental to the test and seeing what you're able to do. So first, Trashy picks up the low ground elim, and now 1v1. Aiden on the top, and he pops the shadow. Aiden heard it, and he goes to look for him, but Trashy's just like, I'm in the zone. I got the bandages. I'm good. Aiden goes out a little too early. Trashy is able to pop off the mini and then just turn back. Aiden spends the whole time looking for him, and Trashy just gets the nice, easy elim going. Had the heavy sniper ready, but now on board here with AU's Macon. Looking for the shot. First, finds pocket right out of the edit. Cool guys don't look at explosions or falling players. Z-Fakey going down there, and then Saf going to work with what he does best, finding his angle, picks up Cryptic, and the Galaxy Brain play to get high ground control. That was the only other player who could have possibly contested him. Slump goes down, and look at what he has in the loadout. Has bandages. So Spook, Harrion, Saf, Domo, Rex, Deuces, Spectro, Maximo. That's basically Fortnite West in a nutshell, minus Aiden and Sean. However, we got a little bit of South Korea invasion going on. We talked about it at the start of the show. Metacino and Envy are playing in Canada this week, and last week as well, playing on NA West. And right now, he is 1 point off that qualification spot. Like, it would be such an incredible effort out of him if he can get one on foreign soil.
I mean, keep in mind, though, he does have 8 games played, so does Saf, right? So Spook and Harrions have a little more wiggle room, but again, it's going to come down to the wire.
It's down to it anyway. These guys, their game management time is right about there. The queues are getting towards the end of it, and I mean, we're about to find out who our last 2 players are.
Well, let's get back into more of these games, as of course, we're going to hop back over with the boys that are going to continue casting our games. Gentlemen, back your way.
Thank you very much, Zeke and Sundown, for your analysis. For some reason,
dude, that board is so close, that top 10.
Yeah, it's scary.
Anyone's game
it's
right
scary.
now. I would say if you're in top 25, I'd put it that close. You're in contention right now.
It might even be deeper than that. You never know, because we've seen, I mean, we saw, what was it, Mega dropped a 20 elimination.
Oh my gosh, yes.
In finals the last week. You're really going to go that big? Like, it's anybody's game. We do have just over 15 minutes left for NA West. If you're trying to queue, get your games in. Pay attention to the clock. Very important. We got Phil in an adorable Easter onesie. Out here, 2 eliminations.
You know, one of the coolest things that Epic Games like Fortnite started doing
this is like a Christmas winter onessie. My bad.
The reskins, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You have something, and then you get more for what you already own. That's like the best thing.
As Courage would say, yeah, eat dab. Luchador, the top left, pick it up an Elim. We're down to 39 left. Moving into the 6th circle, combat shotgun. Screaming for it, finds it. Are you kidding me? Flip-flop goes down 12 miles away with the epic combat shotgun.
And then
Big
people want the normal pump back. I don't know, man. I think you can put up the argument right now. The combat kind of dubs on the normal pump in almost every situation.
Unless you're in the same box. Unless you're in the same box. Yeah, if you're box fighting.
Which I'll be honest, I'm more of a box warrior. I'm way more of a box warrior. I just don't have. I don't playground, I guess, as much as this guy. You know, I don't do all that flashy.
You trying to tell me you don't crank 90s, Monster? I don't believe that for a second. I've seen you.
I crank 180s, bro.
That's
backwards. I like to go down and I just wait at that point.
Weird flex, dude, but okay. I see you. Vertsack goes down inside the box. Speaking of boxes, box fighting. Legendary combat shotgun in the inventory of Phil.
But even then, I'll just pose this and then I'll let the topic go.
Oh, gosh.
Even in a box fight, dude, the combat is disgusting. You don't even have to swap over.
Oh, Reddit is going to pick this up and run with it, dude. You got to be careful.
Hey, this is 2 sides of the road here, all right? Respectfully walk with me here. Let's have this talk.
Respectfully walk. Follow me.
Follow me, youngins. Let me show you. Show some numbers here.
I understand what you're saying. Both weapons, they had their caveats. They are powerful within the wait. Barband did a reset and side edit on that pyramid so fast.
See, he's doing full 180, 360. This is me. I don't 90. Do those, dude. Just build everything.
Protective.
Honestly, though, he just dedicated a lot of material to setting up here.
He did indeed. It might pay off, though. He picks up an Elim or 2, rotates through the material.
Oh,
Look at the
my
shots.
gosh.
Non-stop applying pressure with a swap between ARs, the combat shotgun from that distance.
What other weapons
insanity.
can do that? See? point proven.
Touche. Well, your comment was in regard to box fighting, though, brother. Hold up. Slow your roll for a second.
All right.